Hey guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here. If you stopped by today because you wanted to get my first impressions of a relatively new fragrance, I'm going to keep using that word relatively because I'm still getting caught up on all the new releases because there are a ton of them. You wanted to see my take or impressions on Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum, however you want to say it. That's exactly what we're going to do today. This is one of those fragrances that I've highly anticipated checking out. I'm super grateful to have my hands on it and excited to talk about it with you guys. So don't go anywhere unless you want to go to Starbucks and get me a birthday cake pop or something like that. That's totally fine, but I'll see you shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm taking a look at a really hotly anticipated, highly, either way, fragrance called Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum. Now, the original Bvlgari Man in Black came out, believe it or not, in 2014. It's been a decade since this was released. Now, when this fragrance was first released, a lot of people tried it out and they made comparisons to Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb. They made comparisons to Givenchy Gentleman Only Absolute. And I think those comparisons, I can definitely understand them. They're appropriate to make. Are we just getting a more intensified version of those fragrances and of the original Man in Black with the Man in Black Parfum edition? We're going to answer that and more questions. Before we do though, let's take a quick look at that presentation. Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum comes in an all black box. On the front it says Bvlgari and then Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum in gold lettering. On the bottom it says 100 ml or 3.3 fluid ounces. The sides of the box have no information. The back of the box at the top says Bvlgari. On the bottom it has ingredients listing along with some other information. There's nothing on the top of the box, and on the bottom of the box it's got a UPC, a QR code, some recycling stickers, and a batch code of 20R as in Romeo 13 B as in boy, D as in Delta, the number 1. This fragrance comes locked by default, so the inside flap shows you how to turn the top of the fragrance so that you can spray it. The all-black flagon delivers an intense interpretation of the Bvlgari Man in Black aesthetic codes. The dramatic and audacious use of the color black visually recalls the higher concentration of the parfum, differing from the more marked contrast between the black and rose gold of the eau de parfum. I'm going to go ahead and put side by side the original and then the Parfum. I'm going to hold them like this so that you can kind of see them. So you can see the differences in the two. They are just some slight visual or aesthetic differences in the two, which kind of is an indication of what we're going to be able to find in the formula, I believe, anyway, because it is very similar to the original. Let's talk about the fragrance itself. What are the notes that make up the formula? The fragrance classification or family is that of an ambery woody fragrance featuring top notes of cardamom, black pepper, elemi, and cinnamon, with heart notes of tuberose absolute and iris, resting on a base of what Bvlgari describes as a dark wood accord, which we know to be a combination of patchouli and cypriol, and then benzoin absolute. This is quite different from the 2014 or the original edition, which had like rum, tobacco in the open. There was leather, guaiac wood, tonka bean. It's a bit different in formula, and I have to say, it does smell a bit different. Now, the one thing that this does keep, though, is the floral heart. Now, tuberose is a white floral fragrant note that definitely carries a floral aroma, but it's not necessarily a feminine flowery smell. It's more like orange blossom or something like that that's in a lot of men's fragrance. Tuberose is, and because it has the name rose, a lot of people confuse it with the note of rose. It is very different from rose. So even though this is a Parfum edition, it is by nature very similar to the original. Here is where it differs. The original, and it's not necessarily a positive, but it's not necessarily a negative. It really depends on what you're looking for. So I'm going to describe this in a way that you can appreciate it, not necessarily how I personally feel about it. And then I'll tell you how I feel about it if it matters to you. The original is very boozy because of that rum and tobacco combination. It has a very boozy, very intoxicating, and I mean that in a, wow, this smells great, kind of open. It's got a spicy, dark nature that is similar to the two fragrances and others that I mentioned, like a spice bomb kind of feel or quality to it. The difference between the spice bomb kind of fragrances and the original is that it has that floral kind of heart to it, that tuberose, which is kind of a strong floral, similar to like a heliotrope type of floral fragrance. And there's something extremely refined about that. The guaiac wood and the tonka just served to make what was great about the boozy nature of the original even stronger and very long lasting. Primary focus on this one is a bit more iris floral centric. It still has that same spicy nature and that dark wood appeal. It's just not as boozy, and it's got a bit more of an iris overtone to it in the dry down. So you can definitely tell this has kind of a floral iris heart. Whereas the focus in the original was a bit more on that boozy and the tobacco, the spices. The focus on this is a bit more of where the spices are still there, but that combination of iris with the dark woods makes it a bit more refined. And that leads us into what type of situation would you want to wear Man in Black Parfum? Well, that's easy to answer. The creator, Alberto Moria, is very well known for the nature of his dress. He dresses up. I've never not seen the man in a tie. Most people know him by this photo. Here's a bit more of a recent photo. Yes, still rocking the tie. So this is a definite black tie affair kind of fragrance. It would be great for special occasion, formal wear, but it's not going to be one that you're going to want to wear all the time. You're going to want to wear only during cooler weather, such as spring, winter, and fall, and you're only going to want to wear it primarily nighttime. Daytime events are okay too, again, if it's a special occasion, but this is going to be mostly for dawning on your pulse points, twilight, dusk, and nighttime. Those are the times I think you can best utilize this fragrance. But being a Parfum edition means that it is going to be up to 40% concentration of oils. So it is higher concentration. Higher concentration means better performance, and all of those aficionados of great colognes and fragrance out there for men's fragrance are looking for those fragrances. Working a 12-hour day, you want your fragrance to last that. This actually is going to last that period of time. This one I've smelled well into the next day, and I do like the kind of floral nature of the iris and the tuberose combination in the heart of this, along with cypriol. I do like the dark woods feel to it, but it doesn't have that tobacco dankness that I really appreciate in the original. So there are some differences, and if you like those differences, it's definitely worth having if you have the original, because it is quite a different experience, albeit similar to the original scent profile, at least similar enough. And if you were to put it side by side with maybe Gentleman Only Absolute, this one does retain that same kind of refinement, even as it has more of a floral nature in the mid to the dry down and is a bit different overall in tonal quality. So there you have it, black tie affair, special occasions. That's pretty much the focus, the scope, the animus of the fragrance overall, but you can wear it how you will, but that's what I recommend in terms of when and how to wear it. Being a relatively new release, you're gonna pay top dollar for this. If you go to a department store, you still can get it at certain discounters right now. As I have found it, I'll provide those links below so that you can check it out. But I am interested in knowing your thoughts on this. What do you think about this fragrance? Have you tried it out? Have you had a chance to try a sample of it? If you have, please let everyone know in the comments below what your thoughts are of Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum. Just let us know what you think. Feel free, please, always to comment your thoughts. Well, guys, that puts a wrap on my first impressions of Bvlgari Man in Black Parfum. I really enjoy it. I think it's a great fragrance to have for special occasions, for nighttime wear, for winter and cool weather wear. It did unfortunately come out during a time during the summer. I don't know why it was released when it was. That seems to be an odd marketing choice, but whatever. Who am I to question the greater minds of Bvlgari? Interesting choice. Cold weather is coming though, so it is going to be one of those you might want to add to your cool weather rotation as the weather turns colder, and as we hopefully maybe see some snow this winter. This would be a great fragrance to wear because it will still penetrate through your heavier clothing. It's strong enough to do that, and as a Parfum, you're gonna allow it to last a lot longer for people to enjoy that smell and enjoy your scent trail. Thanks so much for stopping by to check out my thoughts on this fragrance. As always, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.